This week on TGE's Current Read, we have in studio with us a local author, the multi-talented and multi-dimensional Ms. Mpho Boshego. Mpho has over 20 years of experience in diplomacy, stakeholder relations, marketing, and corporate communications. But pertinent to today's interview, Mpho served as a South African diplomat in Belgium from 2007 to 2011, where she advanced, need to get this right, bilateral political and economic relations between the two countries, including 2 years in the role of diplomatic spouse. And now, armed with rich stories and I'm sure some pretty unique experiences, Mpho penned a novel about the somewhat more scandalous side of international diplomacy, and she joins me now to discuss her debut novel, Diplomatic Ties. Welcome, Mpho.
Thank you, Sam. It's so lovely to be here.
Oh my goodness, this book. This book is the Sunday Times, awards, literary awards listening, because there haven't been very many local books that I've enjoyed as much as this. You gave such a refreshing take on being a South African, I think.
Yeah.
I loved this book, Diplomatic Ties.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Mpho,
Thank you.
I'm not going to tell our audience what it's about.
Okay.
They can read the blurb, but you're the author. We've got you right here. Why don't you tell us what it's about?
So, Diplomatic Ties is about a young woman called Mbali. On paper, she looks like she's got it all together. She's ambitious, she's smart, and she's about to go represent her country, South Africa, as a diplomat in Brussels. But beneath the surface, this is a girl that makes bad choices. Her life is basically marred with scandal. She has to deal with love, with betrayal, but I think it's a coming of age story. And, we just go through the journey with Mbali as she leaves Pretoria, where she was born in Mamelodi, goes through her training at the Department of Foreign Affairs and, has some illicit affairs that gets her into a bit of trouble. And she tries to escape, it all. And then she gets posted to Brussels, and she thinks she's left everything behind her, and then the ghost of her past basically just follows her through. So we get to, get through her journey with her.
There's scandal, there's intrigue, but she goes to Belgium. She's a young girl. Are you from Mums? Are you from Mamelodi?
Actually, I'm not from Mamelodi. I'm from Soshanguve. So I'm a Pretoria girl through and through.
So I'm also a Pretoria girl. Hey.
I love my Pretoria
girls unite.
Yes.
We're gonna talk about the setting because you get it. You got it. I'm there with you. But I'm sure you get this question a lot, so I'm just gonna ask it off the bat. Obviously, so you're a Soshanguve girl.
Yes.
Mbali's from Mums.
Yes.
How close is your experience to Mbali's in the book? I think this is a pet peeve question for a lot of authors.
Yeah, well, you know what? I think at first it was like, guys, come on, we can all come up with stories, okay? This is a made-up story. This is not me. But I do understand, and I think, we spoke about this before, that it is written in the first person. So, you get to get into the emotional bits of Mbali.
Right.
And when you also write the story, you almost kind of feel like it's your story because your voice does come through, right?
You embody the character.
You embody the character so that you can almost like be authentic and tell the story in the realist way you can. But, I think Mbali and I, what we share is that we're both from Pretoria, and we both, I think from an emotional point of view, I try to write the book and, to explore the concept of what happens when survivalism becomes personality. Right? And survivalism is basically things that we all go through. And I've gone through it. And, I speak to some of my friends, they've gone through it as well, where life becomes just so stressful. And you feel like you have to carry the burdens of other people on your shoulders as well, right? Where you get into the workplace at a young age, you have not really formed your voice, your understanding of life on how to move, you depend so much on what other people say, on what they say you must do, how you must carry yourself, that voice inside of you actually don't even know that it exists. Right? So you don't actually even listen to yourself, and, everything is so externally focused until you get to a point where you actually don't even know what you're doing anymore, because Sam says, I like it like this. So you do the way Sam says, and then somebody else says, actually, it's better like this. So you do it like that. So I think we share that, it's a coming of age story. And, when you're younger, you don't have your voice, you're still kind of like exploring, and then you get older and things start to open up a little bit for you, and you become a more fuller person, So I think that's what we share.
And you write it so well in the author's note, which not every author, I always love the acknowledgements.
Yes.
It's my fave to read the book and read the acknowledgements.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm wondering who all these people are and seeing
yes.
if there are any Easter eggs or anything in there. But before it, you mention an author's note. I don't know. It's so short. Do you want to read it? Because I think that'll give more of an idea of who Mbali is and who you were embodying when you wrote the character.
Perfect. Okay. I just don't remember it off by heart.
Read it for us, friend.
And I don't have my glasses. Thanks, Sam.
Do you want me to hold it? Yeah.
Hold it over here. Okay, let's see. The author's note. There was a girl once who had no softness to fall into. She carried the hunger of others on her back. And when the weight got too heavy, no one said, put it down. They just said, you're so strong. I didn't write this story because I had the answers. I wrote it because of this burden, this thing we ask of young girls from places like Mamelodi. This is a book about what happens when survival becomes personality, when ambition is shaped not by personal dreams, but by collective debt, when love doesn't register simply because there's no space for it. When a girl like Mbali learns to become everyone's answer except her own. I wanted to write Mbali into existence because she is so common and yet almost invisible. She's the girl who gives too much, who disappears into the needs of others, whose mistakes cost more than they should. Diplomatic ties isn't about ambition or politics or power. It's about what it means to grow up needing to rescue yourself before your own life even begins. If nothing else, I want Mbali to be seen.
Oh, so good. I love it.
Thank you.
And that's just the author's note,
Thank
everybody.
you.
Just the author's note, no biggie.
Nothing to it.
There, towards the end of the novel, you speak about love and
Yeah.
you speak about God and faith. And I think that grounding of yourself and knowing of yourself in a very inclusive way as well. I don't want to give a lot away, but you do start the novel with the scandal.
Yes.
Because you needed to put Mbali in a pickle.
Correct.
But also you were a diplomat and you lived that life. And so I've asked you how true to life your experience is to Mbali's experience. I also want to know how true to life some of the opulence, the corruption, and that world that you created in Belgium is to the world of international diplomacy as it stands now, today.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's see. When it comes to, let's start with the opulence. And the opulence, I will start it in the second part of the book, because this is the 3-part book, right?
Yeah.
And the first part is we are introduced to Mbali as she's going through diplomatic training. So you need to go through diplomatic training before you can get posted as a diplomat.
And you don't really have a choice where you get posted, or do you? Can you say what your preference is?
You can. So they give you 3, well, they don't give you options. They bring out a list, right? And they say from this list, give us the 3 options, preferences
That you would go for.
that you would go for. So you can say New York, Brussels, Beijing,
I love that
and
you
then they
call
take
them
you-
in the
yeah.
book ice cream posting.
because that's what they call them.
Okay, what's an ice cream posting?
So an ice cream posting is a posting where in a first world country, a developed country, where you have access to a lot of things, like everything, right? On a Saturday when you're bored or the activities, you can go shopping, you can explore the country, the attractions, there's places to go eat, to party, all of those things. So it's nice, it's easier. Life is like this, it's safe. It's not like, when they talk about the country, they talk about diseases or stuff like that, or war, or conflict.
Right.
It's just
And
a
if you-
nice.
if
even
you're
South
raising
Africa
a
would be like-
family,
if you're raising a family,
it's a
they're
good
like
idea
great
to go to an ice cream
schools,
posting.
right? Yes, because you've got like little kids and you want them to have like great education, all those kind of stuff.
Okay, so you were speaking to the
So-
opulence of...
So the opulence, yes. So the opulence, I think it will be like in the second part of the book.
Yes.
When she goes to Brussels.
Because we're aware of her home and how that's juxtaposed against the opulence.
Correct.
And she's she lives in Mum's, she's busy
Yes.
studying in Pretoria, or not studying at the university, but she's training as an intern.
Correct.
Yeah.
She's from Mamelodi. She was studying at tax as well, and then she went to the Department of Foreign Affairs, and then she goes to this institute that is also part of the department, where you have to do your training before you go out. She's still kind of like finding her feet. She's learning a bit. She gets into some trouble there. But anyway, we move to the second part where now she is posted to Brussels. And I think, the world is like worlds apart, right? For the first time, she has her own apartment. Let's just start there.
Where did she come from?
So, coming from Mamelodi, she stayed at home, a 4-roomed house with her mom, her aunts, and her grandmother.
Her uncle.
Her uncle
mother,
as
her
well.
sister.
Everybody is there. She doesn't have her own room. Even when she starts working and she gets a salary, that salary has to now go into helping out at home. So she's not like the other people who, their first salary, they get
Disposable
flats.
income, blah, blah,
People
blah.
will stay at Sunnyside in Arcadia, all of that. Disposable income, can go buy a dress, nice shoes, all of those things. She does not have that. Then she goes to Brussels, and now, she gets her own apartment, her own, not just her own room, her own home. And, and there are parts in the book where I speak about, like, say, the opulence of, what was that? Is not the Castleman. What is it? Where the ambassador and them go to have parties and have cocktails.
Yes, like you're very descriptive about all the hot places to go to in Belgium.
Yes, like, even places to eat. And those are real places because those
I
are
love
places
that.
that I actually went to.
So I assumed that they were real places because your setting in terms of Pretoria, all of those are real places. I'm like, I
Yes.
know that news cafe.
Yes, remember? Yes, by school.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes,
I
yes.
know these places. It
Right.
was so familiar
Yes.
and so well written, because also sometimes I'm just going to put it out there, when I read local authors,
Yeah.
and we've got so many amazing local authors, so I
Yes.
don't want to
No, absolutely.
sound like I'm berating local
No, no,
authors. I do read a lot of international titles.
Yes.
But sometimes when I read like about a street or a setting that I'm familiar with, I get a bit of the ick, because I'm just like, I call it like the ick of familiarity.
Right.
I'm just like, okay, I'm out of this novel now. Now I'm in my normal life. I did not get that
Oh, I'm so glad.
with this writing.
I'm
I
so
can't.
glad.
It's just your magic, I suppose. I
Oh,
can't tell you
thank
why,
you.
other than quite possibly you're an amazing writer.
Oh, thank you.
The setting. So I did assume that every place that you mention in
Yes.
Brussels, all the streets that you mention, and
Right.
the sites, the statue of Peter Pan and the
Yes.
mannequin piss,
Yes.
all
They're
of that.
real.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
all of that
yeah.
is real.
Yeah.
All of that is like true to what your experience was. And so that gives such a richness to the novel.
Thank you. And I think that's what I wanted to do. So the plot, totally make believe, right? Like, just come up with a story, like a storyline that is scandalous and a bit of a thriller and has suspense and, have people hooked. But the setting, I wanted to make it very real. So because also I started writing this book when I was there. So you can see the setting is also like 2007. Because the news cafe, I don't think is there, for example.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. But then in 2007, it was there.
Yeah.
Because I used to go there with my friends and go have drinks there. Right?
Yeah.
So, but then it's not there anymore. Even like the setting for Belgium, I tried to stay true to that period.
Time period.
That time period was very important to me, because it's 2007. So all the cafes we used to go eat at, the parks and the statues that were there, chances are they're still there because,
well, it's
very historical type of stuff. Things don't change that much.
We're not taking a bulldozer to Hatfield Square in Belgium, but we did it to Hatfield Square. The square is no more.
So it's no more.
The news cafe is no more, alas, but it belongs in our hearts. And it's in your novel, McGinty's.
Yeah,
oh my goodness.
Right? So I tried the settings. I tried to keep to as I remembered them.
Love it.
The tram numbers, the routes, the streets, the street names, all of that. I tried to keep to that.
So you started writing when you were there.
Yeah, so I know.
That's how many years
okay.
Is that?
We don't have to talk about that.
No, we do. Let's go there.
Yes. So I was posted in 2007. And the reason why I wrote the book to start off with, right, was I get news that, you're going on a posting, very excited. Then I realized, oh, damn, I've never actually lived outside of South Africa. Same thing in common with Mbali in the book. Mm-hmm. I've never lived outside of South Africa. And I thought, I need to read a book about a diplomat who went on a posting. So I can just kind of get the personal stories, the social, what's supposed to really happen. And I went to the bookstore and I could not find a book on like a diplomat's personal social story.
Interesting.
Yeah, all the books were on geopolitics. They were on wars somewhere, the UN, this is what's happening, this is what they're dealing with. It was all very political, but there was no personal stories. So I was a bit bummed. Okay, fine. Then we leave. I was married at the time. So we left. And then I get there. I think I was reading one other book by Toni Morrison. And then I started researching on her because I really enjoy her so much.
Which Toni Morrison?
How many Toni Morrisons are there? Only Toni Morrison.
Which one?
The author, the American author.
No, which book? Sorry.
Oh, which book? I'm sorry.
There's only one Toni Morrison.
I know. I'm like, how many Toni Morrisons?
There's only one. No. What do you remember what you were reading?
The book that I remember reading is called Love. There's so many titles. I love Toni Morrison's. Okay. I read, Love and the Bluest Eyes, as I'm looking into your blue eyes. There we go. Mm-hmm. So I read up about her on the internet.
Gosh, and if anyone can inspire you to write.
Right?
Yes, it's Toni Morrison.
And I think that's what I like about her. And, because she almost like tries to explore concepts as well. And then she puts together like stories, but just to explore like social concepts or, things that people are dealing with and like social issues.
100%.
Yeah. So I wrote, then I read a quote and it said, if there's a story that you want to read and you can't find, write it yourself.
Write it.
And I thought, I could write a book. Hey, I could write a book. Yeah, I'm going to write a book. So that's how it all started. It was like basically that. And so I started writing a manuscript and I finished writing it while I was there. But because like in the diplomatic ties, the story of Mbali, everything is about it's a coming of age thing, and it's about timing, and it's about developing, and it's about finding your voice and your confidence. And I never felt like I could stand by the book that I wrote and come talk about it. I was still like so.
You were not in the space.
I was not in the space. I don't know if I was shy or just not confident enough, I guess. So yeah, that's how the book started. And
Had you submitted it?
Funny enough, I did submit it to Random House Drake. They liked it. They said I must give them like 6 weeks or something to read it, to send it to their reader. And after that, they will come back to me and tell me, you know, what the verdict is. So I said, okay. So they came back and they said, we really like it, but we would like you to change this and that. You know what I mean? Like just to kind of like rework, which is normal.
It's standard operating procedure.
Correct.
In the publishing world.
Yes.
Okay.
But I think I was just not ready. I just got so
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, you might have been. Were you precious about what you had written? Be like, I poured my heart and soul into this, and now you need me to work more. Or were you just you had 2 small children or 1 small child at the time?
So my other one was probably like 8 or 9.
Your eldest?
My eldest, or 10. I can't remember. So long
It's
ago.
a
He's
lot.
24
It's a
now.
lot.
My
no,
God.
I can't even believe it. Just
Yeah, I
you know.
So it's like so long ago. I don't remember all this.
But you had 2.
So I had 2. The other one was a baby.
It's a lot.
Right? So it was a lot. And also it's like you're in a foreign country. I mean, you make friends, but you know, there's nothing like old friends, right? Like people that you went to school with, or your cousins, or your sister, that type of support around you. So it was just a bit lonely as well. So I was just all over in my head, and so that never really worked out.
Timing
Is absolutely.
So you were fast forwarding.
So I was fast forwarding to 3 years ago, when a friend of mine who actually had a baby at that time as well, and she was like, oh, I'm looking for something to read. I'm so bored, you know? So I'm like, oh, I wrote this thing. So she's like, oh, give it to me.
No way.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay. So I give it to her. She reads it. She says, oh, I love it. And I'm like, oh, okay, nice. And then she kept asking me, where is that manuscript? What are you doing? And I was still not ready all these years.
3 years ago. Wow.
So
okay.
only let me tell you, 3 years ago, my friend, Bulelwa, gets an opportunity to write a book, a memoir called My Land Obsession. And while she's there talking to publishers about her book, she talks about my manuscript. I mean, yeah, I know. I mean,
that's womanhood for you.
Listen here, right? She does that, and they're like, okay, I think they're trying to appease her, right? Okay, well, you know, we're trying to sign you up. Okay, just ask her to send her stuff. So they like it as well. And they say, like you're saying, you know, we need to like work things around a little bit. Then I read the manuscript again, and I decide, I don't like it anymore. Like the plot was
it's
just
20 years on, you know.
Right. Okay, so I'm 15.
You've changed. 15. Excuse me. Excuse me. Yeah.
I know, but it could be 20 years ago.
Several years later, you're a whole new person.
Completely. But the setting I still loved, right?
Yes.
So like the whole diplomacy thing. So I loved that. So I still kept that. But the Mbali story was just screaming to come out. So that's how that story came about.
Can we talk about how you start the novel before even part 1? Because it's divided, you mentioned, it's divided into 3 parts.
Yes.
We're in South Africa. Mbali's training, experience as a diplomat trainee.
Yes.
In South Africa with the Department of Foreign Affairs. Fascinating. Never thought about it. I went to Crawford, Pretoria.
Oh, yeah?
And I think because of the setting, because of the area that you know where it's situated, I went to school with a lot of diplomatic kids. We call them diplobrats.
That should be the next book, don't you think?
Diplobrat. Yes.
Right.
Shame, I don't actually know any one diplomat kid who was actually a brat.
Yeah, I know.
But so I'm familiar with that side of the
Right.
kids of the parents who were diplomats, but
Yes.
never. Your book is the first time I'd ever considered what do you study?
Right.
How do you train up to become a diplomat, an ambassador for your country? What is this process? I was open to a whole new world. I loved it so much. Second, part 2, diplomatic posting, Mbali's experience in Belgium. This whole new world opened up to her. After the drama, there's drama that happens.
Yes.
Lots of dramas in South Africa,
Yeah.
but let's not spoil it. And then part 3, I like to call it the denouement, but the key character development for Mbali at this, and a peek into also her future.
Yeah.
However, the shocker of an opener. Because it's in the beginning, can we mention it?
Yes.
Okay, so we become acutely aware, very aware, that our protagonist, our young protagonist, she's what, 22, 23 at that time?
Yeah.
Because she's 24 in Belgium.
Yes.
So I'm
So she's
assuming
23.
she's
So she's 23 when we start.
She's young.
She is young.
But we're with her and we're like growing with her, and we don't see it through a lens of being taken advantage of.
Right.
Right? We're not, because it's also written in the first person. So you're not seeing it
Correct.
through that lens. You're seeing it through the lens of scandal.
Right.
And we become acutely aware that she is sleeping with a minister in the presidency. This is a very quiet, but you write the sex scene but there's a couple of sex scenes in the book that you write quite delicately. And even though this is quite, I won't say raunchy, I won't say sexy. It's not like, explicit romance. You know? It's sex. It's transactional sex in this instance. And it's shocking. It's before part 1 even begins. It's right
I know.
it's in
so
the
shocking.
it's in the prologue, right?
Yes,
it's
it
like
is.
right there. Is the shock tactic intentional? Because it had me. I was just like, oh my God, girlie, you're in deep.
I know,
From
right?
the get-go.
Yeah.
So was that there in the beginning?
So in the beginning, okay. So I told you about like the first manuscript, right? And so the first manuscript, there were like 3 women in diplomacy. One was the ambassador, the other one like the spouse, the other one like a young diplomat.
Interesting.
And like all 3 different lives, and they collide at some point. In the story, I was like, So I almost kind of like took all the drama and like I piled it on this young girl.
Yeah, shame.
I know.
It's a lot.
But I wanted to see how she was going to maneuver, because I think she's so smart and clever, she'll be able to do it, But the reason I started like that, I wanted to place her in this survival space that I was talking about.
Oh, I got goosebumps because,
Right? Because also I not to give away like a lot. So Mbali obviously does not come from opulence or even like a middle class family. She comes from, they're not doing so well. Her grandmother is basically the breadwinner, and she's not working, so she gets a pension, and she sells magwinya.
She looks like a lot of young South African women.
Correct, right? And so Mbali's 23. The Minister of Foreign Affairs actually is obviously her boss, not immediate boss, but he's the boss of the department, right?
He's like the highest level up in where she's at. Yeah.
Yes. So to start, there's that gap, right? So he's like in his 50s. She's 23. Not to also give things away too much. When she meets this man says to her, my gosh, you are so brilliant. You're so smart, and you can really go far. And I would like to kind of keep you close so that I can almost kind of like, mentor you, so to speak. And she laps it up because she's never been told that. Where she comes from, her mother is pretty much like not speaking, right?
Yeah, she's mute, kind of like borderline comatose. She's not there.
She's not there.
Yeah.
Her father is not there. She's never really heard these words except from her grandmother.
This validation.
The validation.
From a person in a position of seniority.
Absolutely, right? So she loves it, right? And, and then there's this man who also has his own issues with his wife, right? And in his head, there's this young woman who looks at him like, oh my God, I still got
admiration,
it.
yeah.
Admiration, does not ask too much of him, does not pity him, so it also makes him feel kind of special. And so I do not want to write it from, and people take whatever they take from it. So I don't want to write it from a moral point of view where it's like this older man is taking advantage of this younger woman. I just wrote it, this is just people's experiences. Because also, Mbali does not need to sleep with anyone to become a diplomat. When you are in the department, automatically you will go on a posting.
If you're accepted as a diplomatic trainee,
it's when you get into the department, you will go on training at some point.
Gotcha.
And then once you finish your training, it's not like everyone passes because, the training is to coach you and to help you. It's not like to see, do you know.
Right.
It's not like at school.
Right.
You've
been through university.
You're smart. That's why you're here. So she was going to be a diplomat anyway. So transactional, is it? So people take what they take from it. This guy, is he taking advantage of a younger woman? He just saw a person who's working.
I love that reading of it.
Yeah, so, and that's just how I wrote it. Like, this is just two people. So, but people take what they take from it, and it's okay.
Because there's no violence. She approaches him.
There's no violence.
She enters his office. So if anybody needs it, a trigger warning, there's no need, I don't think, for a trigger warning in the initial scene.
No.
You're so right. There's almost a non-judgmental lens through which you're just looking at it objectively.
Right. Yeah.
And everybody, and you're coming as an author, you're coming from a place of these characters are products of their environment.
Yes. Right? And because, Sam, how easy it is for all of us to judge each other without knowing each other's stories.
True.
And the choices that we make. It's so easy even to slut shame people because they did something. You don't know what, we can't really say what happened. Why someone chooses to do what they do. And also it's like someone can choose to do one thing and then after a couple of months or weeks, days, years, decide, this is not serving me. I'm not that girl. I'm not that guy. I'm not doing this anymore. And then they change. But then we won't allow them to change, will we? Because then you're like,
Don't forget.
Yes. Remember what you did.
Yes.
Yeah. And so it's like,
Love that take. Because I think the automatic assumption is there's this power dynamic that's being taken advantage of. Well, of a young girl being taken advantage of by an older man.
Yeah.
But you're right. You don't write it as such.
No, I don't.
And another thing that I find that you kind of just play it as it lays. There's no denying that there's like a strong contrast between the grassroots politics, where Mbali comes from. So you're dealing with a lot of dichotomies here.
Yeah.
I've drafted some themes.
Okay.
You said I mustn't stick to my notes, but I saw a lot
okay.
in it. You deal with it. It is so layered. So there's the grassroots politics, dealing with day-to-day life of South Africans on the ground. You meet Mbali's family, her two aunts, who are so endearing, her sister, her mother, her uncle.
Yeah.
You see the impact of high-level decision-making on her family. And then you see the upper echelons of diplomats working abroad, living luxuriously, maybe laying witness to questionable behavior and outright corruption. But there's ambivalence. It's layered, as you say. It's neither black nor white. You're operating in a very gray area. Other dichotomies you deal with: sex, love, and survival.
Yeah.
Corruption and integrity. Feminism and disempowerment.
Yeah.
Poverty and opulence, we've spoken a lot about. And then local and international, what it means to be a South African also living abroad.
Yeah.
And the knowing the Tux girlies all went to that news cafe
Yes.
with their friends,
Yes.
that localization of it, but then being a South African in an international setting, totally different story. So you're dealing with a lot of dichotomies in the book, but I think I'm assuming it just naturally happened that way as you were writing.
Yeah. So, to start with the local and international one, and also remembering the setting and the time period, being 2007, I think at that point it was almost like at the height of the African Renaissance, right? And the consolidating the African agenda was at the center of our international politics as South Africa. And we, I remember even going on training. I had my own gobas, the coordinator, right? And it was a gentleman called Mr. Robert Buota, and he was fantastic. We're still friends. And, he would say to us, you guys must be so proud when you go out there because you have such great leadership. I think our president at the time was Thabo Mbeki.
I was just thinking, I'm like, was it Kgalema Motlanthe?
No, it was Thabo Mbeki, right?
Still at the time. And
Yes.
Obama, in a pre-Obama world as well.
Correct. I think the Obama was around 2008.
2008,
Okay. Yes, right?
So while you were there, he became president
then he became
of the
president.
United States. And
Yes.
Thabo Mbeki was...
Then, he was ousted, remember? Then, and then we had our, Mr. Jacob Zuma, who became our president.
Which... sorry to interrupt you, but something similar happens where your characters go through. Mbali's watching TV with Mashudu, right?
Yes.
Her friend that she makes in the department, and there's a similar moment.
Correct.
Where they're watching and I actually just want to be awed. Mbali feels the need to be home with her people. There's almost a sense of guilt that I found.
Yes, when on CNN the news came that the president has been ousted, basically asked to leave and stuff. So I do put that in the book.
It's in the book.
That forms feeling, part of that setting.
But it's all fictional characters.
Correct.
However, that feeling is captured.
Yes. And I think that feeling comes from, when you're outside, you are there to represent your country. Meaning you're representing the people of South Africa, which is obviously so heavy. How do you...
It's a lot.
It's a lot to expect of people, right? So it's like what you say, there's certain things that you can say or don't say, or to who. I can't call the newspaper and say, hey, let me just clarify what's happening in my country is not really what you see being reported. So you can't say that, right? There's only one spokesperson, and that will be the ambassador. And the ambassador is also messaged because messaging will come from head office.
Right.
Because, which makes sense because there must be a standardized message.
Course. You can't have disparate voices all over the place.
Absolutely.
It's got to be one united front.
Must be one united front. And because we're all South Africans, and that's the beauty about diplomacy as well and being out there as a South African. There's no playing party politics. We are South Africans. When you are there, you are not representing, these people. And I'm not talking about those people.
Or even one particular party.
No, you're
because
representing
you're in
the
South
country.
Africa and there's party politics.
Correct.
But when you're a diplomat and you're an ambassador for your country, it's not about the party politics.
No.
It's about the country.
It's about the country and how you understand what the country is about. There are always like national priorities, right? Like that education is important to the development of our country. Healthcare is important. That we have like a sane, a healthy, nation, and people have access to, good like clinics and hospitals and all of that. So we all understand what the priorities are. And those are priorities for all of us as South Africans. They're not priorities for certain people. So when you become a diplomat as well, it's almost like you follow foreign policy, but foreign policy basically comes from national priorities, right? So, so when you go outside, say, and we can see in the book as well, when Mbali's outside and she understands that, the upliftment of communities is very important to the growth of our country. So what is it that you can learn? So she's looking at what is it that she can learn in Belgium that will be of great help to the people in South Africa, right? So her job then will be then to help partner people, organizations, and, projects so that, we take the best of what's happening in Belgium and you can see that my people will be able to benefit from that. You find the right people who are working on these issues and you partner them with the right people. And that's how diplomacy coming alive. You take the best of your country and you show people that as South Africans, this is who we are. We are about Ubuntu. We are about it was also like during the Nelson Mandela time.
Of course,
and
yeah.
it was
fresh off the
right?
years of the Nelson Mandela.
And it was a time because everywhere, if you said I'm South African, oh, Nelson Mandela, Nelson Mandela. It was like, and we see in the book sometimes where she's like, oh gosh, I don't feel like going there because the first thing they're gonna be like, where you from? And she'll be like South Africa. They'll be like, oh, Nelson Mandela. And like, I don't feel like it today, not today. So yeah, and those are like the differences in terms of, at home, this is what she had to deal with, being on the international in that space. These are the new things that she had to deal with. So we kind of like, yeah, you're right. So there are lots of parallels.
There's lots of parallels, I think Mbali, it's not overt, which I love. I think it's a lot of her interiority is there's a push and a pull. And then the burden of, it's like the eldest daughter syndrome, right?
Oh.
She's got that weighing on her. And there's a key passage right at the end of the book that I won't give away where she speaks with her aunt about how she feels. And it's almost like a bit of a full circle moment where I got quite emotional reading that and realizing or also relating to that feeling, the burden of responsibility ultimately, and playing the role as opposed to knowing yourself. And she is so young in the book, and you just she has so much on her shoulders. I think your writing is quite delicate. I think there's a lot that you're dealing with. And there could be a judgmental side, but there isn't. You're just kind of like,
this is the person.
This is it.
Yeah.
This is it. And there are these dichotomies. Do you think that, because she never says, I feel so guilty. She relishes in, where is it? I have to get this.
Okay.
This passage. She walks into her apartment. You spoke about her apartment earlier.
Oh,
which
for
is
the first time.
For the very first time. She squeals in excitement, and we all jump up and down. The people who are showing her apartments show me around the kitchen, dining area, upstairs to 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. This is one young girl, right? On their way out, they say, Terry. Is it Terry?
Oh,
Terry.
Oh, Sherry.
Sherry is the... Sherry will come in a little while to take me back to the hotel.
Oh, Terry
the driver. Sorry.
Yes.
Terry, yeah. Like Terry Henry. right?
Oh, Thierry. Oh,
Thierry.
yeah. Oh, yes.
Right,
the
like
football
Thierry
player.
Henry, the football player. That's what I assume.
Look at me. I'm like, huh? What are you talking about?
You can say I
Yes,
read the book.
Thierry.
I read
No,
it.
now listen here.
As they leave, they hand me a beaded box with my key in it. And she relishes in it. She runs around, turns every knob, rolls on the Persian carpet. She's giddy. And it ends with, it feels like magic has been let loose inside of me. No guilt. I'm curious about that. Is there a sense of almost survivor's guilt? I'm here, my family's there. Obviously, she's like, this is the first time. This is crazy. I've been left in this huge apartment by myself, and there is a loneliness that sets in over time. You do go there, but and I'm asking on Mbali's behalf because I want to ask. I'm curious on behalf of kind of the diplomatic experience. Is there this sense of people at home are going through this, and we're here living this life?
Yeah, no. I don't know how everybody feels, but I think it's almost similar to if you work for any corporate institution, right?
Yeah.
And they second you to a different country. Right. And when you get there, they, make sure that you have accommodation, your kids are taken care of. You stay in a nice place because you are here to represent the company and to work. Because you're not there on holiday. You are there to work. So I think when diplomats go out, I never felt any sense of guilt.
Were you stressed about the nature of the job, or did you relish in it?
I did relish in it. I thought it was exciting. And I also thought how exciting it is to care about your country and then be given an opportunity to represent it to other nations. I think it's amazing.
I think that's such a progressive take because we always say guilt is on the show and on our sister podcast, The Great Equalizer, especially in terms of guilt as it relates to motherhood. Guilt is a useless emotion.
It is quite useless.
It's useless.
Like
so why would you feel guilty? I'm just imagining this dichotomy and sitting back home and looking at the suffering of your people, and that as you mentioned in the book is leveraged. Look at the poverty-stricken young people in South Africa. They just need water and sanitation. They need education. They need this. How can we partner with Belgium to further this
because
these
that's
causes?
your understanding, right?
Yeah.
Because even if you're at home,
what can you do about it?
Right. But then now that you are here, there's a sense of I can actually do something. How far it's going to go, I mean, it's like me being nice to someone and smiling does not mean like I'm changing their lives, but maybe for a moment, it's just like, oh, a friendly face, how nice. And like maybe for like the next 20 minutes, they breathe easier because, because I smiled at them. And then it's not like I changed their lives. But also it's like going anywhere. Like diplomats are educated people who care about their country and who are at work. And many of them don't come from poverty. You know what I mean? So it's not everybody who's like has Mbali's story. Maybe some have their responsibility, but the responsibility looks so different for all of us.
100%.
You know what I mean?
So it's an individual.
Yeah. So for Mbali, I think it's also like that human thing where something nice happens. Before you feel guilty, you're going to enjoy it, right? It's like, oh my God, this is so cool. And then maybe later you're like, oh damn, did I just spend like all that money on that dress? That's when now you feel guilty. But when you saw the dress, it's a beautiful thing, isn't it? It's like, oh, look at this dress and I'm going to wear it with this. And when I go, when I'm there with my friends and it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
But maybe depending on how you are wired, later when you sit down and you see someone maybe who doesn't have like something to eat, you'll feel like, oh shit, I just spent like I think we all go through
I
that
think we all,
sometimes,
you don't
right?
have to be a diplomat to go through that. for
Exactly.
sure.
So it's like a human experience.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. And I love your take. I think it's quite refreshing. I think it's
Yeah.
really progressive. Like, what's the point? Where am I going to make as a diplomat now in that context and in Mbali's context? Where am I going to make the most difference?
Yes.
And she gets, for various reasons, which you're going to have to read the book to to understand, she gets posted under the ambassador as opposed to where she actually wants to remain.
Yeah.
And I think she starts feeling a little redundant, like, and not, she just feels like a little bit of a glorified personal assistant.
Yes.
Not to downplay personal assistants, but she
Yes.
studied for all of these years
Yes.
to work on diplomatic relations.
Yes.
And she's not exactly doing that for
Yeah.
reasons outlined in the book. And there is the heart of Mbali's kind of character and the difference she wants to make.
Yeah. And then we see it when the premier comes into town, right? And how she like, oh my gosh, okay, how do I make good of a bad situation, right? Because it's like now I'm under the ambassador. I have to like carry her bag everywhere. And I wanted to make the ambassador almost like a comical character.
Oh, and she
because
she is. There's one scene where she comes in on like a chaise longue, right, to music, and it's all very comical, and everybody's just like, "What the fuck is going on?"
I know she's quite funny, but also it's like because she's, and I think many of us have had those bosses, right, who are just everything is about them.
Yes.
And so this is not even like an ambassador thing. It's like. Boss.
It's a person type.
It's a
trope almost.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a trope.
Right.
Of just like, what the fuck is going on here? And we need to actually like respect this person.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah.
But then because they're in, a position of power and authority, you listen to her, right? That's your boss. And basically, but then we see that now she has to deal with this woman and being, basically her PA. But then now the premier comes into town and she's like left to take care of the premier. And basically just how the premier starts to ask her questions, and she realizes, oh, actually, I can make good of a bad situation by asking the ambassador that every person that comes to visit Belgium, I can take care of them because then I can tell them more about the country and they can tell me about what they're looking for, and I can make sure I go look for those things for them because then they're going to take these things back home, to uplift the communities back home. So we see her being very excited about now being under the ambassador. And I think, and I've seen, I still have lots of friends in diplomacy. They care about their country. They really do care about their country. It's just that maybe we don't engage them in the right way because it seems like their work is so high up there. You know what I mean? It's almost like it's
they're
just,
detached
it's
from
so
what's happening at grassroots level.
correct.
That's I think is the optics for people who are on the ground living in South Africa.
Right. But actually, if we knew more about what the profession is all about and what it can yield for our country
And why it's important.
then we will look at it differently, and we will also try find ways to how to bring it down to all of us, for us to know how do we kind of like leverage, this profession. Because, and they will tell you, for example, when I think maybe I was like a year or something into the department. I think it was 2005, and the big tsunami happened, remember?
Yes, yeah.
And so a friend of mine actually asked me if I can come work at the ops room, because the department has this ops room that's open 24 hours, which you can understand because the people who work all over the world
Sure.
doesn't sleep, because when it's nighttime here, someone is getting up somewhere else. So,
Sure.
things
yeah,
should
yeah.
be running all the time.
Okay, exciting. There's an ops room.
That's an
I want
ops
to go
room.
to the ops room, guys. I want to be in the ops room. Okay.
So I worked at the ops room during the tsunami time. And my God, it was so sad because I think that's when people actually realized the importance of embassies.
Yes.
Yes, because people had loved ones who were on honeymoon.
Yes.
And, because those were like, I can't remember the country, but like somewhere in
Phuket. Wasn't it?
Phuket.
It was Phuket.
Yes, right?
It was Thailand.
Correct.
It was along
Thailand.
that
It was
coast.
the
Yeah,
coast, right? So people are on honeymoon, people are on holidays, so people now are calling because their kids are on honeymoon.
And they have no other port of call.
And the embassy, so they call the ops room. Then the ops room, we have to find the embassy in Bangkok. And, did I say Bangkok?
Bangkok.
My God. So, so then you see also, that was like almost like the real life example of how important, in your own life, like, if you are caught somewhere and you need assistance, you have to go to an embassy.
Was it okay?
The tsunami, yeah.
In 2011, how many? Okay,
No, there was one in 2005.
And 2004, yeah.
4, yeah. So it was around
Gotcha.
yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Indian
Yeah.
Ocean earthquake and tsunami.
Correct.
Thailand was one of the 14 countries affected by the
Yes.
2004 Indian Ocean earthquake and tsunami on 26 December 2004. Is that what you were in the
Correct.
ops room?
I was in
that
the ops
time?
room at that time. Yeah, December.
No ways.
Yeah. And people were calling in and people were crying. So you have to have empathy. You have to be understanding. And you have to also, and the people at the embassy, like the consular services at the embassies, were very ready to assist. Because, people care about the people in that country. And, and that's part of their job. That's not all their job, obviously. But that's part of like when a South African is in distress, they are there to assist. So.
I love your take. I've got one more question.
Okay.
A couple of more questions. I've got to get it all in there, okay? But I really have to say that I actually, in talking to you, having read the novel now, and in talking to you, I love you. You've got a very generous take on life. What I mean by that is it's very easy to criticize our government.
Oh, yeah.
We won't go there.
Please, let's not.
We won't go there. It's very easy.
Yeah.
It's very easy to see the worst in what's happening governmentally.
Yeah.
I mean, look at global politics.
Yeah.
It's a shit show. It's heart sore. And I think, as I mentioned, I keep mentioning grassroots people on the ground, because that's also, as a journalist, where I operate from. I'm a humanities journalist. I speak with people on the ground. I don't speak with, or not all the time.
Correct.
In my work as a journalist, I don't often speak with those in power.
The principles.
To get I don't speak with the principals to get right of reply, etc. I'm not that kind of journalist. I give the human interest stories. I'm a human interest journalist.
Correct.
Call them fluff pieces if you must, but I love human stories, and that's where I work. And hence, I keep saying at a grassroots level, people on the ground. But there is, as you mentioned in the very beginning, when we're talking about the minister, the foreign affairs minister, even your view of him and your lens of him is quite generous.
Yeah.
You're looking at him as a person.
Yeah.
You're looking at the situation as a person. You're looking at diplomacy in a very generous way. What is there to give? It's a glass half full approach. You are a glass half full person.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yes.
Right?
Generally.
Because this
generally.
You left with a sense of hope. You are left with Mbali has a future at the end of this.
Yeah.
There's a steep learning curve, many steep learning curves she goes through. There's a lot of social and political commentary, but it is woven together in a very generous way. Like I say, your delicacy as a writer, there's really something special to what you've brought to this text. And I wonder, this is my one last question. And I don't think it's a difficult one.
Okay.
But I do want to confirm.
Okay.
Is there a reason why? Because you could have written very easily a nonfiction
Oh, yeah.
book
Yes.
summarizing your personal experiences. I'm
Yeah.
sure, no doubt you had many interactions with people and characters, colorful
Lots.
characters that you could have
Yes.
put into a book. Instead, you fictionalized
Right.
a Mbali story.
Right.
Why fiction? Why do you think you went there?
Well, I mean, I don't think I'm that interested to write like a non-fiction.
I beg
it's like,
to differ. I beg to differ, but
it's like,
yeah.
you know, read about Mpho. Who's that? I don't know. Yeah, I think that's one. Maybe because I didn't think I was. Actually, never even crossed my mind, to be quite honest. I think if maybe when I started that long ago to maybe try write about my experiences, maybe I would have had a different take. But because that never crossed my mind to make it like my own story, I just never entertained that. So now the only answer is, oh, why would someone want to read about me? And what is interesting is I remember my publisher saying to me, the books that sell a lot in South Africa are nonfiction as opposed to fiction.
Yes.
Yes, South African stories.
Crossed my mind as well because I was
Right?
just like, okay, if we're looking at sellability here, why didn't you
Right.
go, ooh, the inside scoop, the inside,
It's too late.
you know?
Already written the book.
Yeah, you'd already written
But I
the
could have
book, but
changed it.
Imagine.
I know. I think from sellability point of view, but also, I want that story was just jumping out and wanted to be written, and I wanted to write it, and I loved writing it. And I think, as much as it's a made up story, we can all see ourselves, bits and pieces of ourselves in Mbali's journey as well, and also I think, I don't know, I want to continue to write more books.
Yes.
And-
Okay. I'm glad you said that.
Oh, I'm so glad. And also, like, I was wondering as well, like, I wonder people who write, I must ask my friend this, like, who started writing nonfiction, like about, memoirs and all of that.
Wait, hang on.
Okay.
I looked up. You're talking about Bulelwa Mabasa,
That's right.
author of My Land Obsession.
That's
We're going to hook our
correct.
listeners up, seeing as she did everybody a solid by hooking us up. with you.
Hey, she's the plug.
Bulelwa, you're the plug. We're going to plug you, my friend.
Oh, thank you. She's so lovely. Great attorney as
Love
well.
it.
So I don't remember what I was saying. Oh, the
Sorry.
nonfiction story. It happens.
We
eh?
digress.
We're not even drinking. My God, can you imagine? Thank you for giving me water. So I was wondering, when you write like your memoir and stuff, how do you then write like a made-up story after that? Because I would think that, like your own story is like my own life. I mean, I can write about my own life. I don't have to talk to anyone. I don't have to research
You
nothing.
don't have to deep dive
I don't have
creatively
to,
into
because I can
something, yeah.
just. So I always wondered. So I'm glad.
You
However,
started off with the more difficult endeavor, I think.
yeah, and I don't even know I will ever write a memoir. I mean, I don't know. But I like to write about things that I know something about. So I think that part of me plays into the whole storytelling, right? So like I was a diplomat. I do understand being in survival. I think we all are stressed. Being a mom as well, just like kind of like, oh my God, what do I do with this? Oh, trying to juggle a lot of things.
Right.
So I do know all of that. I do know I'm a firstborn as well. So I do know that pressure of like people saying, oh, my big sister. And I'm thinking, I have no idea what I'm doing. Don't. Don't look at me. You know what I mean? But then, people expecting you to be the older one. So you must have some sense.
You're the adult in the room now.
You know what I mean? And thinking, I have nothing between my 2 ears. Like, don't look at me. I have no idea what's going on, guys.
And I'm tired.
And I'm tired. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's those type of expectations. So even though experiences may not be the same, but we all carry kind of like similar type of stresses. you know. So
So,
yeah.
any ideas for novel number 2? Can you give us a sneak peek?
I do have ideas, right? My idea is, so my editor said to me when I wanted to tell her, because I was so excited to finish this one, and I said, oh, I've got an idea about the second one. And she's like, oh my God, this one is not even printed yet. And I said, no, but I do have an idea. And she says, I would rather not share because, it's almost like now you've put it out there. And like, it's almost like, I don't know. It's like the energy then, I don't know.
I feel you on that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But still, I'm going to share it.
Okay.
Because I talk too much anyway.
Okay.
But I want, so it's not about like the storyline because I don't have that,
Settled. What are you exploring?
But I'm exploring. So with this one, was exploring survivalism, right? So survivalism is basically, it's a veil. It's like, I have this great job and they call me CEO or whatever. So, it's like this identity that I can hide behind. And that's how I define myself. I'm a wife, I'm a mother.
You play certain roles.
I play a role. And then it's almost like, then what happens when that veil falls, right? It's like when you're no longer a wife, for example, like you get divorced because that almost kind of like starts to question your identity as well, right? When now maybe you're no longer that powerful CEO and people are not like now jumping around you and bending backwards because you asked for something.
Who are you in essence at
you?
the crux of everything when you strip away your job title, your role as a mother or a wife,
when
sister?
that veil,
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I love it.
So I wanted to explore that. So
I'm excited. I want to share 2 passages or just lines because they were just lines that made me sit up and go, and underline.
Ooh.
Okay? And it's not just these 2, but I'm just going to read 2 because we need to wrap up.
Okay.
All right. Mbali's talking about time very early on and that she's at the end of the 2nd month of the 6-month diplomatic training. And she says, that's what I love about time. It isn't here to argue. It's just here to pass. And that's for any big challenge in life. The time will pass anyway. Just do it. Just do it.
Just do it.
And then that burden, that eldest daughter, responsible university graduate burden that so many of our women in South Africa bear. And we know this feeling that she needed to go somewhere and she was at Vusi's house, I think, or she was thinking about her grandma, her gogo, who's also like a sense of a space for her. You end the chapter with the line, somewhere I just have to just have somewhere else to be. She just wants to have somewhere else to be and to be somewhere for a few hours where no one expects anything from her. And you write, somewhere I can breathe without explaining why I need air. Man, this is good. Your writing is good. I'm so chuffed that you're exploring more, that you'll be doing more.
Thank you, Sam.
Mpho Boshego. Yeah, this was for everybody listening, watching from home, from your office, from your car. Go and get this book. I thoroughly enjoyed it. This is a new voice in South African literature, and I beg of you never to stop.
Oh, that is so wonderful.
I think this is where we need to be heading in local literature.
Oh, wow.
Let's move on. Let's be progressive. Let's be forward thinking. Let's be generous in the way we do things. Mpho, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you. You're so generous, Sam. I appreciate everything that you've just said. Warms my heart.
Next time, my friend, decaf espresso martinis on the table.
Yes, I think we might need something a little bit stronger.
Okay. Deal. Done deal.
Done. Thanks, Sam. It was lovely.